Gary, I hate that everyone's talked to you the whole show, but I gotta talk to you. You were Gary wasn't a coke guy back in the day. I'm getting like anything up? Mushrooms? Acid? Give me something. Weed.
He was an actuary.
I'm pretty clean.
What the fuck is that? I'm retarded and I'm from this town. What I don't know what that means. Actuary? Is that the person who signs things?
It's like statistics.
Statistics? Dude, everybody I know who's a genius smokes weed like every day. I mean, do tons of coke. Adderall? Give me something. Dude, everybody I know in college who was a genius did Adderall. Anybody Adderall? Ladies, go ahead and admit it. One time. Here and there. A couple times, guys. Yeah, you guys. This guy's on Adderall right now. Give it up for him. That's why he's been able to focus through an hour show. It's incredible. I mean, we would not have him without Adderall. It's a beautiful drug. I've never done it, but I'm just naturally on coke, you know? To be an Italian guy from New Jersey, you're just naturally on coke. You don't have to do it. If I did coke right now, you'd all murder me. Like, it'd be the worst experience of your fucking life. Coke, yeah, coke's not my thing. I got a buddy who still does coke every single week, which I think is a bit much, because he's 32. And I'm like, dude, I think you might want to cut back on coke every single week, dude, you know? But he's like a wild guy, right? You might be a wild guy with that shirt on. That's a freaking great shirt, dude. We got a lot of couples here, though, so I feel like there's some conservative couples here. But I feel like this guy's double sleeved up. You might be a wild guy, right? Yes, you.
Xanax almost killed me, so
Jesus Christ! I forgot to ask you about Xanax. All right, I'm not gonna lead you down that dark road. Xanax almost. That's all right, dude. I know a lot of guys who OD'd on heroin, so we're right there together, you know. Jesus. You're not a wild guy. You don't do coke weekly, right? Once here and there, once in a while. College? All right, yeah. You just blame anything on college. Yeah, I blew a guy once. It was college. You know, it might have been a year or two after college. You can just blame anything on anything. You said you're in college. It's fly. I was at community college living with my parents, but yeah, anything college. I was in college. I was between 18 and 22. I was in college doing disturbing shit. I'm kidding. If you want to blow a guy, that's great. Noah wants to get blown right after the show, so maybe, you know. No, but he's like a wild dude. So he's like, we get a lot of couples here, right? You guys get the split up couples at 3 and 3 or whatever's going on here. We got you guys, right? So he's like a guy who does coke weekly, and then he's just like a dating theme, dates constantly, right? He'll set up like 5 dates in a week. That's a lot, like 3, 4, 5 dates in a week just with the apps. You just set it up, set it and forget it, right? Does you guys ever have that phase where you're just going on all these dates to see what ladies probably, yeah, get some free meals. I completely agree. It's a really good maneuver for you guys. I'm not saying you specifically, I'm just saying women in general. They can do it, it's great, right? So he tells me, I got a girlfriend. I know you guys are all shocked, but I have a girlfriend. So when a guy tells me like a fun dating, like an awkward dating story, it's just hilarious to me, you know? So I have him tell me all his stories to entertain me. And he's so crazy. I'm like, he's 32, he's doing coke all the time. I don't think he hasn't been in a serious relationship in a long time. I'm like, he's not gonna settle down anytime soon, right? And he's like, dude, I went on this date and it was the greatest night of my life. And I'm like, are you sure? Because you guys were out in Hoboken? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you sure the greatest night of your life? Really? And ladies, you guys know you go on a date versus when a guy goes on a date. A girl kind of goes into it a little bit different than a guy does, right? Especially if like you go on multiple dates with a guy, and you're like, oh, I might actually like this guy, right? And you really got to think about like the future if you actually want to maybe get serious with this guy. If he does not cheat on you, obviously. I'm just saying, he might be a good guy. He's buying you a nice meal. Everything's going great. He has a good job. You're like, this guy's great. Like he's hot, whatever you guys are into, you know. But like a guy doesn't really do that. A guy just kind of like, you see what happens, you know, hopefully we fuck on the first date and that's really it, you know? But maybe it'll go somewhere if she's cool. So he tells me this dating story and he's like, you know, I'm telling you, I went out on this date last night, man, and I'm telling you, bro, this might be it. This might be it. She's incredible. I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I'm sure, right? He's like, dude, we're at the restaurant, I'm making her laugh, she's making me laugh. I'm like, no, she's not. She makes a lot of money, she's sweet, her parents are still together, everything is checking out, you know? And I'm like, all right. He goes, there's one issue though. We're walking back from the restaurant, and I pull out a cigarette, and she freaks out. She's like, oh my God, that's disgusting. You smoke cigarettes? I'm not gonna kiss you if you smoke that. And the guy's doing coke weekly. He's been smoking cigarettes since he's 10. And he's like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't know, dude, but that's hysterical. That's really one of the funniest things I've ever heard, that she wasn't gonna kiss you because you smoke cigarettes. Because one time I went out with a girl, and we're walking back from the restaurant, and she pulls out a cigarette. And she saw me looking at her, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, are you not gonna kiss me if I smoke this? And I was like, what? Are you serious? I will fuck you if you have AIDS. I've ever gone out with in my life. Are you insane? A cigarette? Smoke crack for me. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I didn't get my numbers up. I like this guy's reaction. Oh my God! You guys are on board with AIDS. It's great. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. He's a fun guy. He actually lives in Hoboken. It's not a lie, you know? He lives on 9th and Willow, if you want to, check it out. I don't know, dude. My girl's very active. Are you guys active people? Like today they had the Brooklyn 5K. My buddy ran it. I'm like, dude, I'll come out and support you. I'm like, what time does it start? He said 7 a.m. I'm like, I'm out. and she does all this. She wants to run. She wanted to do a 5K, which is like not that long. She's like, let's do a 5K. It's actually like, be athletic or try to lose some of my tits, And I'm like, all right, a 5K, that's not that long. I could do that, So I'm like, all right, I'll start prepping. I got to the track by my house, ran 0.7 miles and started coughing up blood immediately. I was like, all right, I can't do this. I'm really out of shape. It's bad, And she's like, all right, whatever. But the thing is, when you do a marathon, you have to fill out an application, you gotta submit a fee, all this crap, right? So all of a sudden, I'm looking up all this marathon stuff, and I find myself in like a rabbit hole of marathon crap, which is the most boring thing you could ever imagine. Like, you ever just watch one video on YouTube and then 4 hours went by, and you're like, what the fuck did I just do? You're just watching how this guy killed his wife 17 different times. It's like, what am I watching right now? You're just watching 9/11 videos on repeat, or it's just something. It's the most insane thing, and you're just 4 hours, you're dead, gone, right? So that was me. I'm in there, and all of a sudden I find myself on a Wikipedia page. I'm looking up the New York Marathon, the Boston Marathon, only 2 marathons I've ever heard of, and I'm looking up all of a sudden the winners, the winners of the years come up from the last 10 years of the New York Marathon, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Let me see who represents the marathons across the world, what countries represent the marathons, And we're in a literally all-white room, okay? And you guys could probably guess who wins the marathons every single year, okay? Because the results did not shock me. I'm sure they did not shock you, right? You want to give it a shot, ma'am? In the last 10 years, we had 5. Go for it. Kenya, there you go. See? Girl, at the gate, first one, Kenya. Very good. Anytime I tell people this, they're like, Kenya, you got it. 5 Kenya in 10 years. 3, go ahead, hotshot, you want to give it a shot? Ethiopia, you nailed it. Ethiopia, 3 Ethiopia, okay? Then we have 1 Eritrea. I might not be saying that right, but it's in Africa, okay? It's 9 African countries in 10 years winning the marathon. As expected, that's what should happen, But then I'm scanning and I see 1 UK. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of wild. The UK, right? Probably a white guy if I had to guess, No? He's probably white if he lives in the UK, right? It's a good chance he's white, right? I Googled him. Yeah. He's white, I Googled him, right? But what caught me off, I was just 1 in 10 years, so I scanned down to the year that he won it. 2020. Yeah, you guys know, there was no race. There was no physical in-person race in 2020 in New York City. There was no race, okay? What you did was you ran on your own time and then you digitally uploaded it to Strava. And I Googled the guy, he's a white guy, and all I can say is Kevin Quinn from Northern England did not win legally, okay? This guy was 13 beers deep before the second mile. There's a 0% chance this guy can beat 5 Kenyans. Alright, fine, you guys don't. I know, I just turned, it's bad, it's bad out of shape. I just turned 30 too. I know you guys all thought I was 44, but I just turned 30, and you gotta keep it in check when you get into your 30s. That's when it can go downhill fast. You gotta keep it in check. She's not in her head, dude, right? So, you gotta keep it in check in your 30s. I just turned 30 like a month and a half ago. My dad calls me up. He didn't say happy birthday, this is on my birthday. He didn't say happy birthday, he said, yeah, so do you own anything yet? That's what he said. He's a 64-year-old Italian man from North New Jersey. And he's like, yeah, so you own anything? Or how what's the deal? I'm like, Dad, I live in a studio apartment in Brooklyn. I don't have a car. What could I possibly own? My rent is more than your mortgage has been combined for the last 25 years. He bought his house in 1981, okay? I'm like, what the hell could I buy? He's like, I want economics so I can like brag about it or something. I'm like, Dad, do a comedy in a barbershop, all right? Tell people. It's way better than getting some shitty, boring house. Okay, anybody, you guys are homeowners here? You guys look pretty young. Yeah? Dude, you look young for, how old are you?
25.
Are you serious, man?
Wow.
What, did you sell this guy coke? What do you do? You're 25, you own a house? Could I ask what you do for work?
I mean, it's not a crazy house.
I don't give a shit, dude, it's a house. It's a what is it, townhouse?
No, it's a single family home in Raleigh, and I work in finance.
Okay, alright, that's bad, that's respectable, dude. That's incredible. To me, that's incredible. Like, somebody told me they own a studio apartment, I'm in shock, so, I'm like, that's amazing. And you know, I got family down in South Jersey, like further south from Raleigh, so it's a little bit cheaper down there, right? So I'm sitting in my aunt's house, and she lives in a shithole, and it's like 2 bedrooms, middle of nowhere. I'm like, I could probably dip my toes into something like this, right? I got a couple bucks. I know you guys don't think I'm poor as shit. I have a couple bucks saved up. So I throw her address into Zillow, and this house is listed at $580,000 in South Jersey. Like, I can't afford that. It's crazy. And she's sitting right there. She's like, oh my God. When I bought this house in 1968, it was $23,000. Do you know how disturbing that sounds? What's crazy is I can't afford that either. I'm lying to you guys. I'm broke.